Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Today's episode promises nothing but thrills that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Sit back, relax, and let's wow your world. Starting today's episode, we have something rather unprecedented. This first clip was recorded in Colorado as recently as 8th of October by passengers on board a narrow-gauge train that caught sight of something typically not associated with the Colorado area. Take a look. From the train, you can see a humanoid moving through the area. It's big and also most definitely not human. There are not many creatures that fit the bill, which leaves me and all who saw the footage believing that we are dealing with a Bigfoot. I mean, take a second look at it. If this is indeed a Bigfoot, it might be the first for the area, because Colorado is associated with a lot of things, but Bigfoot sightings are not one of them. Although a number of us in the paranormal community believe we may be dealing with a Bigfoot, some who saw it found it funny. One user sarcastically asked if he was able to get back the rented costume in time. Now, if this is a dude in a rented costume, then that's definitely a costume you should be wearing for your next Halloween, because it's very realistic. Some also laughed at it for being shiny, but if you've seen well-kept animal fur in the sun, you would know it gets shiny. Either way, those are just my thoughts. What do you think? Is this really Bigfoot or simply a dude in a costume? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. Now, we have a lot of weird-looking naked creatures on this channel, but I doubt any compare to this next capture. What do you make of this weird image? Some members of our team believe we could simply be looking at an emaciated man, but quite frankly, I think there's more to this image. While he may look thin, like someone starving or ill, he definitely looks much stronger than someone in that state would look. This could only mean one thing. That's his actual physique. One striking thing about this whole thing is his weird-looking nipples, but then again, we're in breast cancer month, and perhaps this is a reminder you needed to get checked to make sure you're healthy and will stay with us for more years to come. Coming back to the image, what do you make of it? What do you think we are dealing with here? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. We'd love to read them. Next, we have a capture that was taken during a quiet night of camping, which turned, well, not so quiet. The sound started right around the time the group of campers was about to settle into their tents for the night. The curious and somewhat brave campers decided to investigate the source of this unsettling sound, which is what led to the image you see on your screen. There, beneath the cover of a tree, stands a creature with an unusual form that defies easy categorization, as it looks neither like a human nor any known animal. The campers stayed hidden in a spot as they filmed the strange creature, as they didn't know what it was doing in the woods or what it was capable of doing to them. While I would not have gone out at all, I must commend them for their bravery. Whatever you do, though, don't ever go out looking for the source of strange noises when it's dark. That's how all the side characters in a horror movie die. The thing is, you'll never know if you are the main character or not. Side characters don't survive. Stay safe out there. Talking about being safe, I doubt anyone could be safe anywhere close to where the next Trailcam image I'm about to show you was captured. What do you think this creature is? If you said dogman or wolfman, we wouldn't have an issue with it because it literally looks like one. Wolves and wild dogs can be very dangerous because of their feral nature. To have a creature that has all those features and is yet much stronger and humanoid is a different ballgame altogether. The owner of the Trailcam that captured this states that he's been shaken and worried for his family ever since their Trailcam captured this image, and I can't blame him. I would have, however, moved from the area because hunting down this creature could prove fatal, and it's safe to assume that it knows where the humans live. If it decides to change its diet to something a bit more human, the family would certainly be in trouble since humans are in short supply where the image was captured. I gave my word not to reveal the location, but what would you have done in their situation? Share your thoughts with us. Do you believe in superheroes? Well, the next footage might challenge that. In this intriguing footage, a curious individual found himself wandering through a dense forest when his attention was drawn to an extraordinary sight. Amongst the underbrush, a tiny creature emerged. This diminutive being had an odd greenish hue and a head that bore a striking resemblance to a fractured tree, with its spindly arms and legs adding to its curious appearance. If you look closely and imaginatively, you'll realize it appears to be adorned with a small cape. Cool, huh? One might be reminded of Groot, the beloved character from the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. However, what sets this apart is the very real and unaltered nature of the footage. The presence of this peculiar creature raises numerous questions. What is that creature? Why is it there? And is it dangerous? If any of you can help with the answers, we'd love to hear them. Would you explore tunnels? Well, the individuals responsible for our next clip thought it would be a good idea. Watch what they found. As they delved deeper into the maze-like passages of the cave, their headlamps revealed a creature that was unlike anything they'd ever seen. This cryptid figure had a strikingly human-like quality, walking on two sturdy legs much like a human, and it even had arm-like appendages. But it was enormous and had a noticeable hunch in its posture, giving it an otherworldly appearance. Its body had rough, textured features that hinted at a thick covering of hair or fur. At least that's what we think looking at the footage. What do you think we could be dealing with here? Please share your thoughts in the comment section. Accidents are unfortunate situations that can sometimes defy explanation. However, when we examine the footage here, we can't help but wonder if there might be something more sinister at play. In this video, we witness a motor accident, as is evident. The motor lies on the ground, and the footage was captured by the helmet camera that continued to record even after it fell off the rider's head. What's truly unsettling is what the camera captured. Just behind the fallen motor, concealed among the bushes, a dark figure emerges. This figure appears from behind a tree and with an eerie, sinister countenance gazing directly at the camera. The figure's eerie appearance might lead one to ponder whether it's an embodiment of an evil entity, possibly even evoking thoughts of the Grim Reaper or an ominous spirit that played a role in causing the accident. In this rather unsettling footage, we find ourselves within the confines of a Romanian zoo. A curious tourist decided to venture into a restricted area and found himself peering into a grim chamber. Inside, a horrifying creature is held captive, resembling a deformed human. The creature's grotesque visage and demeanor are enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. As the tourist present becomes apparent to the creature, it abruptly locks its gaze on him, seemingly yearning to draw nearer. Fortunately, the heavy metal bars serve as a barrier, ensuring that the disturbing creature remains confined within the room. What could be the story behind this nightmarish being, and why is it being kept within the confines of a zoo? If you saw the title and you were a Harry Potter fan, then you know what to expect. If not, enjoy the surprise. Yep, that's a ginormous spider, more specifically a tarantula. From the way it looks, it's hard to say if it's alive or not, but the individual filming, who seems to not have arachnophobia, pokes it with a stick to check if it's alive. And your guess is as good as mine. It's alive. It sharply contracts its legs. Fortunately for the individual, it doesn't come out or attack. Small spiders can be fast and dangerous. Why would you play with one this size? The docile nature of the creature has led some to believe it's either dying or the whole thing is fake, aimed at garnering some views. Tell us what you think. Before you move on to the next clip, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and even drop a comment in the comments section. It goes a long way to help us produce more videos for you. Thank you very much for doing so, it means a lot. Moving back to the day's episode. I'm pretty sure the title confused you, but trust me, once you see it, you'll understand. Take a look. That's a strange-looking deer, is it not? I doubt if I've seen any deer look like that. If you know anything about deer, however, which I know you do based on past experience, then you're well aware of the fact that they shed their antlers. But I doubt you've seen any like this. Those antlers look like pigtails. Anyone who was born earlier than the 2000s knows those hairstyles used to be a hit. It's a pity we don't see them anymore. But I'm glad this deer brought the style back to memory. So while some of you may be worried about the deer, I believe it's perfectly fine. Otherwise, the wildlife experts can feel free to chip in. Do you enjoy safari rides? If you're planning to go on one, this next clip will teach you why you should make sure you move with credible institution and also listen to everything they tell you.
Oh my god, he's up. Oh my god, he's gonna jump on us.
This group on a safari ride suddenly encountered a tigress. This magnificent but potentially dangerous feline was cautiously observing its human intruders. Normally, one would take this as a sign to leave the area, but these individuals continued to take pictures of the animal. Typical tourist behavior. Moments later, the tiger became visibly agitated and started moving directly toward them. Recognizing the impending danger, the tourists began to retreat, but the tigress hadn't even begun giving them a piece of her mind. She accelerated and went after them. I know animals bluff this way, but could the wildlife experts confirm if this was a bluff or something else? Either way, the individuals fled the scene, which was the most logical thing to do. My question is, what would you have done in a situation like this? Next, we have footage that's the very definition of the word eerie. Take a look. The man in the clip's night was interrupted by some strange tapping noises. It's different when you hear such things and there are two or more of you in the house, and also very, very different when you are the only one at home. In this situation, the one filming was home alone. He follows the sound, which leads him to a small room. There, a mannequin strangely falls down. A mannequin, and he didn't leave? Anyone who knows anything about the paranormal knows that strange sounds and mannequins don't mix. Either way, he continues, then the glass breaks and the little girl screams.
Whoa! Hello?
If that's not a sign to leave, well, I don't know what is. This guy is either brave or very stupid. He keeps asking who's there and is met with even more strange sounds. It's at this moment he decides to be terrified and he runs. We don't get to see whatever was responsible for those strange sounds and the video ends abruptly, so our active imagination is left to decipher and decode the whole situation. Instead of throwing my opinions out there, I'm asking for yours. What do you think was happening there? How would you react if you saw a Bigfoot? Freak out? Run? Well, whatever you wrote, I doubt it will compare to this next footage. If you said run, you clearly haven't watched this footage. This individual casually saw a Bigfoot walking around, and instead of hiding like many do when they record Bigfoot footage, she boldly stood in the open and recorded this Bigfoot, who also didn't seem to care that he was being filmed. The lady's dog is also calm, surprisingly. Typically, dogs will bark and get aggressive at the sight of Bigfoot, but this is relatively calm. This has many in the paranormal community talking. They believe it might be fake. It's either that or the woman is very composed and her dog is disciplined and well-trained. Which of these do you think is most probable? Please let us know in the comment section. In this episode, we bring back our bonus footage section. Can you guess what this beautiful creature is? It looks beautiful, doesn't it? What creature is it though? Can you tell its species? Do you know any interesting facts about it? If you do, please head down to the comments section and tell us. Start with bonus footage so we easily identify it. The most accurate description with the rarest fact might win a feature in our next video. All the best. Do you know anything about the Loch Ness Monster? Well, take a look. What does that remind you of? Anyone who knows anything about good old Nessie knows that this creature in the sea is definitely gonna make people think it's the Loch Ness Monster. For those who don't know about it, it's a creature from Scottish folklore and legend. It's said to inhabit Loch Ness, a large and deep lake in the Scottish Highlands. The Loch Ness Monster is typically described as a large, long-necked, serpentine or dinosaur-like creature that dwells in the depths of the loch, which is the Scottish term for a lake. The Scots. Am I right? We don't have much to go on since we can't see its full form, yet what we see is enough to make some believe it is truly Nessie. But do you think that's an actual Nessie, or do you think it's something entirely different? Amidst the solemn grounds of a cemetery, a woman stumbles upon something that defies explanation. I know, you were expecting me to say enigma, but I have repented. Whatever it is, it appears to have suffered a deformation process that contorted it into a truly unsettling spectacle. With its vital organs conspicuously absent and a somber and darkened visage, its crossed arms add a touch of eerie surrealism. But the mystery doesn't end there, as the discovery also brings with it an unsettling stench that pervades the lady's home. What, one may ask, could possibly result in such an otherworldly and disconcerting apparition? Well, we really don't know. What's your take on it? Next, we have one of the oldest yet convincing evidence of a Chupacabra. Take a look. In the footage, we see a creature that looks somewhere like a dog, but without the fur, typically associated with our canine friends. Its body proportions are also not exactly right. Chupas have long been described as such, and this creature fits the bill. The only thing left is to see if it sucks blood out of other animals. But do tell me, what do you think? In a deep, mysterious forest, a TikToker on an adventure hears a strange, scary noise that breaks the peace and makes him nervous.
And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh?
Heard the cries, right? He stands still trying to process everything and wonders what creature could have made that sound. Perhaps it's the shock that keeps him in place, because many would have run away. I am part of that many. After uploading it online, some speculate it may be a Bigfoot, while others think we may be dealing with a skinwalker. Despite the speculations, no one can say with certainty what we are dealing with. How about you? What do you think?
And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh?
If you still haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do it now? Thank you very much. It means a lot to us and allows us to create more content like this. Moving on in the next clip. Still on chilling screams, listen to this next one.
Did you hear that? You go first. Farm animal.
What would you do if you heard these screams and cries whilst exploring the woods at night? Well, these two were startled but decided to investigate, wondering if someone was in trouble. Funny enough, the only people I see in trouble are these two. When they decided to leave, they started to hear someone asking for help.
I don't like this. Good luck, good luck. What do you think it is? Go far with that? Let's go see what that is.
What does that remind you of? Skinwalkers, right? But that's not all. As they were retreating, the creature decided to show itself, and it looked like what you would expect a rake to look like. What do you make of the whole thing? Tell us in the comments section below. In the next clip, we step into the world of archaeology, where something mysterious and absolutely astonishing has popped up. It's left even the smartest archaeologists scratching their heads. Here we've got the skeletal remains of a super puzzling creature, and it's throwing scientists for a loop. Now, the first thing that really stands out is this creature's back legs. They're all out of proportion, way longer than you'd expect. The whole body is about a meter long. Instead of regular hooves, it's got nails, which adds to its overall mystery. Plus, it's got some pretty gnarly teeth that make scientists wonder about its role in the ecosystem. People have all sorts of ideas about what this might be, but none of them seem to totally fit the bill. Is it a brand new species we've never seen before? Some ancient weirdo? Or maybe a genetic quirk of a creature we know? While the archaeologists try to crack this puzzle, we're all ears for your thoughts and theories. Feel free to share them in the comments section below. We'll be reading. A homeowner was peacefully asleep one night when he was jolted awake by peculiar noises coming from the roof. At first, he tried to dismiss the sounds, but they became too unsettling to ignore. Grabbing his phone and a flashlight, he gathered the courage to investigate. What he stumbled upon was nothing short of spine-tingling. Perched on the roof, there was a pallid head propped up, adorned with two dark, eerie eyes that fixated on the homeowner. The intruder bore no resemblance to a human, leaving everyone bewildered and pondering whether this was a paranormal creature, and if it was, what its purpose was on the roof. When humans retire to bed, we enter a state of unconsciousness, leaving us vulnerable to whatever might transpire around us. There have, however, been instances when security cameras have captured bizarre occurrences that unfold while we sleep, and this evidence is one of many such pieces of evidence that could make you hesitant to fall asleep. In this video recorded in Indonesia, we see a car parked outside. Within a matter of seconds, an unusual greenish smoke materializes seemingly out of thin air. This airy mist then takes on the form of a person as it moves, and just as swiftly as it materializes, it vanishes into the ether. The question arises, was that a ghost or some form of wandering spirit? You tell us. Amidst the solitude of the deck, a mysterious sight unfolds. We're looking at a creature with just 3 legs and a gray body covered in strange black dots that create a unique and puzzling pattern, unlike anything we've seen in nature. Despite having only a few limbs, this creature doesn't give up easily. It keeps pushing forward, leaving the fisherman filming it completely amazed and wondering what on earth he was witnessing. All who saw it were left with questions. Is the creature from some undiscovered world? Could it be an alien visitor from beneath the waves? Or maybe it's the last of a species that's unlike anything we've ever known. Perhaps something from the deep sea made its way up higher than it was supposed to be. We don't know, but perhaps the marine experts here could help. We'll be reading the comments. If you thought that was weird, clearly you haven't seen this next bit of footage. This particular one is from a father and son adventure in Georgia. Their adventure is cut short when they come across a creature that somewhat looks like a small version of the Loch Ness monster. Despite showing this to various marine experts, no one could give the father and son duo satisfactory answers. They turned to the internet, and even then, there was no consensus, as everyone had different ideas when it comes to the identity of the creature. My team and I are also at a loss, so we throw it out to you guys as well. What do you think we're dealing with here? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Clowns, you know, those once cheerful symbols of fun and the sun, have taken a pretty dark turn in recent times. Thanks to the association with serial killers and movies like It, they've gone from being funny to downright nightmarish. So picture this, a drone rider cruising their drone over a cornfield when they spot someone standing right in the middle of the corn plants. Curiosity piqued, they fly the drone closer only to find out it's a person in a clown mask. Now, here's the kicker. As soon as the clown realizes he's been spotted by the drone, he makes a run for it. Maybe it's just someone having some spooky fun in a costume, but the mere idea of a clown on the run in a cornfield is enough to send shivers down your spine, don't you think? Before you dismiss it as being scary, think of all those people who have a fear of clowns. Now, is it scary or is it not? Unlike humans, animals are known to be more sensitive and aware of their surroundings, easily detecting signs of impending danger or sensing and detecting any intruders out of sight. This is precisely what happened to a horse rider who ventured into the woods with his horse. As they meandered through the woodlands, the horse suddenly came to an abrupt halt, refusing to move any further. The rider couldn't initially discern the reason for the horse's reluctance. It didn't take long, however, for him to spot movement in the bushes. Upon closer examination, he discovered a strange, otherworldly creature concealed behind a tree. This creature possessed a pallid visage with immense dark eyes, bearing an uncanny resemblance to a skeletal figure. The creature was peering at the rider and his horse, which probably explains why the horse stopped in its tracks. Now the question is, what was that creature? Back in August, this video was captured by a security camera and later shared on TikTok. In the video, a man stepped out of his house with his two dogs, presumably for a playful outing. Just as the fun was about to commence, the man's attention was drawn to something approaching, and it frightened him. He hurriedly retreated into the house, and that's when a massive moose came into view. Concerned for his dog's safety, the man called them to his side, fearing that the colossal beast might pose a threat to them. The moose, however, had different plans and simply strolled into the woods. While moose are herbivores and don't consume meat, they're known for their significant size and can be quite aggressive if they feel threatened. Their antlers make them dangerous in such situations. Although this particular one appeared to have lost its antlers, it didn't make it less dangerous. The man can count himself lucky to have survived. Are snakes developing legs now? These slithering creatures are already quite dangerous when they move on the ground, and the thought of them having legs is even more daunting. Well, you might not have to imagine for much longer, as a four-limbed snake was recently sighted in Vientiane. This creature bore an uncanny resemblance to both a lizard and a snake. It's worth noting that there are lizards known as skinks that resemble snakes, but this specimen was different. Unlike skinks, which are relatively small, this snake was quite long and possessed fully developed limbs. While some snakes do have small appendages that they use for mating, this was a full-grown creature with functioning limbs. The question that arises is, how is such a phenomenon possible? This video was shared by the YouTuber Only Manpur Collection Sap. The YouTube team ventured into the forest to explore when they unexpectedly encountered an unusual woman standing behind some bushes. Not only was this woman standing there, but she was also eerily moving her head sideways to a silent tune. Her face appeared exceptionally pale, almost white. One of the more daring crew members approached the mysterious woman, raising his arms to convey that he meant no harm. However, the woman remained unperturbed and continued to hold her stance. As the man drew closer, she gradually crouched down into the bushes and disappeared. Undeterred, the crew persisted in their search of the woods and encountered another woman resembling the first. Once again, as they approached her, she too vanished. The identity of these women remains a mystery. Are they forest spirits, or could this be completely staged? Share your thoughts with us in the comment section.
What would you do if you were on a deep water expedition and suddenly had webbed fingers pressing against your submersible? As you try to imagine what your reaction will be, this guy already lived out the experience as far back as 2013 in the Greenland Sea. He was filming his experience when the creature just hit the submersible from nowhere. Luckily for him, he was safely enclosed. I can only imagine what the creature had in mind as it approached the man. Some believe it's a mermaid, and others think it might be some other dangerous deep water creature. What about you? What do you think? Moving from 2013, we take footage from the next year, which is of course 2014. This next clip was captured by a family enjoying a peaceful hike along the riverside in Calgary, Canada. If you have followed the channel long enough, then you know that they definitely stumbled upon a perplexing sight that has baffled and may even continue to baffle viewers to this day. Have a look. In the clip, a massive figure appears in the distance. The creature, entirely covered in brown fur from head to toe, exhibits characteristics indicative of a bipedal creature. The length and overall appearance of the figure strongly hint at a resemblance to the often elusive being known as Sasquatch or Bigfoot. It quickly leaves the area as is seen with all Bigfoot sightings, leaving everyone convinced it's really Bigfoot. Also, I am everyone. I agree that this might actually be Bigfoot. Call it a hunch. What about you? This footage was taken in Pennsylvania. Residents of the area were constantly disturbed by strange noises in the woods, so one night some brave souls went out there to check it out, only to come face to face with this creature. This thing had white fur, and it stood at an impressive 7 feet tall. It's like the creature didn't expect company, because the moment it locked eyes with the humans, it got one heck of a fright and disappeared into the forest. Now, it's got the look of an albino Bigfoot, but here's where things get interesting, because Yetis are typically found in cold regions, and this did not look like one. So, perhaps this could be a case of a genuine white-furred Bigfoot, and those are pretty rare compared to the usual black or brown-furred ones. Quite the head-scratcher, wouldn't you agree? This next footage is a sighting of a creature we have never seen before. Perhaps you could help us find out what it is. Late one night, while driving along a remote road, an individual noticed some unusual movement in the forest to their left. Intrigued, they grabbed their phone and started recording. As they approached, the creature became more visible. Standing right at the edge of the forest was a furry figure. It's not certain whether the creature is kneeling or moving, but it moves in weird patterns. Unfortunately, due to the limitations of the darkness and the footage quality, it's challenging to definitively identify this mysterious being. The possibilities of what it could be are wide open. What do you see when you look at it? Tell us in the comments section. Next, we have a peculiar and perplexing Trailcam capture that emerged from the remote wilderness of northern Alaska. Take a look. In the clip, we see the emergence of a strange creature from the dense woods. At first glance, this entity appears to have a human-like form, albeit with some stark deviations from the norm. Its most striking features include disproportionately slender arms and finger-like appendages that resemble claws. The creature's movements are equally strange and far from the fluid grace typically associated with human locomotion. These anomalies raise a puzzling conundrum. What exactly is this being? Where did it come from, and is it dangerous? The owner of the Trailcam who shot this wondered the same and uploaded it online for some answers, but all he got in turn were questions. What do you think about it? Have you ever had a stare-off with someone to establish your dominance? If you have, I doubt you looked as cool as the characters in this next clip. Take a look. In this image, we see a raccoon and deer looking in the direction of each other. If you know anything about wildlife, you would know that these two species don't usually interact with each other, as they are both busy with their own stuff. Here in this capture, however, we see something else. It's like they're both saying, "You're looking at me?" It's hard to say who started this little standoff, but my money's on the raccoon. That species isn't exactly known for its peaceful demeanor now, is it? Next, we have something cute for you. On second thought, it's only cute if you don't own the Trailcam in the footage. In the footage, we see a curious black bear cub that seems to have stumbled upon a Trailcam in the forest. This little guy had no idea what to make of this strange alien object and, like any curious youngster, decided to give it a good inspection. He sniffed around the camera, scratched at the slippery lens, and played around with it for a while. But as you'd expect, after a bit, it lost interest and went off on its way. Adorable, isn't it? If you owned the camera, you'd be upset because of possible damage, but even then, you won't be able to deny that was cute. So, there's this Reddit user, Bianca515, who used to find her place all messed up when she returned home from work. Not having a clue about what was going on, she decided to play detective and set up cameras all around her house, hoping to catch the mysterious culprit in the act. But boy, was she in for a surprise. In the footage, we see a curious black bear cub that seems to have stumbled upon a Trailcam in the forest. This little guy had no idea what to make of this strange alien object and, like any curious youngster, decided to give it a good inspection. He sniffed around the camera, scratched at the slippery lens, and played around with it for a while. But as you'd expect, after a bit, it lost interest and went off on its way. Adorable, isn't it? If you owned the camera, you'd be upset because of possible damage, but even then, you won't be able to deny that was cute. In this intriguing Trailcam footage, we're presented with puzzling footage of a creature that leaves more questions than answers. The footage, admittedly glossy and unfocused, reveals a humanoid figure moving across the camera's frame. While the video quality might not allow for crystal clear identification, it's evident that the creature is not human. The being displays the characteristics of a humanoid figure with recognizable limbs, 2 legs and 2 arms, and a head mounted on a neck. However, the most striking feature is the creature's disproportionately long legs, making its proportions distinctly inhuman. The obscure nature of this sighting leaves us with a host of possibilities. Could it be a manifestation of the legendary Slenderman, a cryptid of some kind, or something entirely different? We can't say for sure, but would love to hear your thoughts. What do you think that is? In 2011, a cave explorer had a spine-chilling encounter in a cave nestled deep in the Colombian woods. In 2011, a cave explorer had a spine-chilling encounter in a cave nestled deep in the Colombian woods. Now, this Trailcam footage is something truly special. Just take a look at this remarkable scene. There's a deer right there, standing tall and proud, staring directly into the Trailcam. And what's even more fantastic, just above its majestic antlers, there's a dazzling fireworks display lighting up the sky. It's as if this deer chose the perfect moment and spot for this shot. Absolutely breathtaking. Or perhaps someone just edited the footage so we could think so. What do you think? Here we have a rather unsettling image featuring a mysterious hand that's not of human origin. Take a look at it. The hairiness, the sharp claws, and the overall animalistic appearance, it gives off an eerie vibe that could send shivers down your spine. Now let's entertain a few possibilities here. It could be the hand of a creature like Bigfoot. I mean, there's no way we're thinking this is your everyday primate or an ape. It could also be that we're dealing with a werewolf or some sort of cryptid. Of course, we should also consider the less supernatural explanations. Our paranormal imaginations could simply be running wild at this moment. Could it also be the hand of a person wearing some sort of costume or glove? I mean, Halloween is coming after all. It's hard to say, but I would want to wager that this is real. A subscriber of this channel sent it in, and I doubt anyone would send us fakes. There's no denying that this strange hand is quite unsettling. It's certainly gotta be real. What say you? In moments of chaos and emergencies, our attention is naturally drawn to the events at hand, such as accidents and injuries. However, some incidents defy explanation and leave us perplexed. This footage, captured at an accident site, is a perfect example of such a bizarre occurrence. Amidst the chaos of paramedics and bystanders tending to the accident, the camera person's gaze inexplicably fixated on something peculiar in the nearby woods. The scene before us showcases a figure set against a backdrop of trees adorned in autumnal hues of brown and orange. As we zoom in for a closer look, the peculiarities of this entity become apparent. The creature stands in stark contrast to the individuals bustling about at the accident scene. Its pale form, reminiscent of a humanoid, is visible from the waist up, with its lower body concealed by the trees. The striking dissimilarity between this entity and the people attending the accident raises perplexing questions. Is this a vengeful spirit? A spectre returning from the beyond? Did the unfortunate accident draw it to the location? Could it be there to harvest souls? Share your theories and interpretations in the comment section below. And just as quickly it disappeared into the thick forest like a fleeting spectre. This image is a reminder that mysteries still linger in the natural world. In these ancient forests, secrets remain hidden. Bigfoot, a symbol of the unknown, continues to intrigue us. Whether these encounters are genuine or the stuff of imagination, you can't deny that they keep us fascinated with the mysteries of the wilderness. With the amount of footage we receive from you guys, however, I bet the majority of these are very real. All some of you need is a good camera equipment, and we'll soon have verifiable proof of their existence. And with that, we conclude today's episode. Still on mysterious beings from the forest, take a look at this next Trailcam capture. In this image, we see what appears to be a creature with dark fur lurking behind the tree. The subsequent image shows the same entity, apparently having moved forward, revealing more of its features. Now we can clearly make out a head and a pair of arms, one in front and one behind, as if it's mid-stride, resembling human arm movement during walking. However, it's the third image that truly stands out, showcasing what many who have seen the images believe to be Bigfoot in its full glory. So what do you think? Is this the real deal or not? Tell us in the comment section.
Our next video, which was uploaded on the channel Seust, certainly presents an intriguing and mysterious object found in a basement. The footage shows a strange black object that appears to be shaking. If you come from where I come from, you'd know that shaking black orbs, like looking at things from the basement, are definitely things you should avoid. But looks like this YouTuber didn't get the memo. Once he uploaded the footage, however, various speculations were offered by viewers, suggesting it could be an egg or even a cocoon. However, without more context or information, it's challenging to definitely identify the object and determine its origin. Do you have any theories or thoughts on what this object might be? Personally, my theories may be too frightening or out of this world to share, but I'd love to hear yours. What do you think this is? Please tell me in the comments section. Now, this is one peculiar find. A subscriber sent us this rather unusual footage from a live news broadcast. As the newscasters do their thing, something quite strange unfolds right behind the man on the right. If you focus your attention just over his shoulder, you'll spot a dark figure zipping across the screen. And here's where it gets even weirder. This figure seems almost humanoid in shape. It's as if we've stumbled upon a flying person. Picture Superman mid-flight, arms raised above his head in that iconic pose. That's precisely what this figure appears to be doing. The real puzzler here is the incredible speed at which this figure moves. It's so swift that it's no wonder the news team remains completely unaware of what's happening right behind them. So the question on everyone's mind, did we just capture a live recording of a superhuman in action? Our subscriber seems to think so. Some members of my team thought so too, but if you know anything about these backdrops, you know they're CGI and animated. Now my question is, why would they do that? Is there something that they're trying to tell us, or is the backdrop of this particular studio real-time footage? You guys tell us. This next footage presents us with yet another enigma, a creature that defies easy classification. The individual recording stumbled upon a peculiar entity which left him puzzled. Wanting to have more evidence of his encounter, he filmed it, which is how we have the footage you are seeing on your screen. The creature in question appears to be white and long-necked, with a small body, yet having no legs like a snake, or, given the circumstances, a giant earthworm. Its initial impression is akin to an uprooted, germinating plant placed on a car tire. However, closer scrutiny reveals that this being lacks any discernible eyes or visible means of ingestion or defense. With his curiosity piqued, the observer decides to interact with the creature using a stick, and this unusual encounter takes a surprising turn. The creature responds to the stick's touch by opening its mouth, suggesting a heightened sensitivity to tactile stimuli. Further experimentation follows as the recorder gently prods the creature's rear with the stick. Once again, the creature reacts, this time swiveling its entire neck toward the source of the stimulation, as if attempting to bite the stick. No, not as if it actually means to bite. The identity of this bizarre creature remains elusive. Could it be a previously undiscovered species, perhaps an organism adapted to a unique ecological niche? Or is it something altogether different, defying our understanding of life forms? You tell us. And you know, one more thing, I won't be surprised if one of you actually knows what it is. Picture this unsettling scenario. You're at home, cozy and comfortable, when out of nowhere a seemingly deranged fox shows up right at your doorstep. At first, you think it's a simple matter of chasing it away, so you make an attempt to do just that, attempting to shut the door to safety. But here's where it gets bizarre. The fox doesn't back down. Now stop imagining and watch this. It's exactly what happened to this homeowner. This furry intruder kept trying to gnaw its way through the door but couldn't succeed. It then proceeds to look through the gap in the door, its eyes filled with an unsettling intensity. It's like something out of a horror story, with this fox seemingly possessed by some otherworldly force. You can't help but wonder, what on earth is wrong with this creature? Is it rabid, or is there something more sinister at play? I think it's rabid, but some members of our team think it's possessed. What about you? What do you think? Could you have multiple paranormal experiences and impartation without realizing it? Well, our next clip seems to suggest so.
তো তখন কিন্তু আমি কাছে ছিলাম তখন আর কি পরিস্থিতি হয়েছিল সেটা যদি একটু বল
The YouTube channel BD Ghost Hunter posted this footage online after their crew ventured into the woods to investigate paranormal activities. As the video begins, one of the crew members is seen standing in front of a tree. However, just a few seconds later, a strange yellowish orb appears and disappears. It's followed by another orb, this time a pink one which appears on the other side of his head before also vanishing. It's unclear whether these orbs were reflections from their light or something paranormal. However, as the camera person pans the camera with a flashlight, a creature briefly comes into view, watching them from the shadows among two trees. The individuals are either oblivious to the whole thing or don't seem to care much about it. Why you wouldn't care about something like this baffles me. Either they didn't really see it while filming and only saw it when they were reviewing the footage, or the authenticity of the footage is very much questionable. At least those are our thoughts. What are yours? In the remote wilderness of Alaska, a camper stumbled upon a sighting that has fueled speculation about the presence of the legendary cryptid, the elusive Bigfoot. The footage, taken from a hidden camera nestled among the leaves, offers a glimpse of a creature traversing the woods. At first glance, it's understandable why the camper believes this to be a Bigfoot encounter. The figure in question stands tall, displaying distinctly ape-like characteristics, and remarkably, it appears to be walking on two legs. This aligns with the classic descriptions associated with Bigfoot sightings. Is this another Bigfoot sighting, or are we simply seeing what we want to see and reading meanings into things that don't have such meanings? If you've made it this far and haven't hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment, could you do that before we go on? Thank you very much. It means a lot. Moving back to today's episode. We've known nature to often conceal its mysteries and in the depths of the forest, but this first clip of the day is evidence that Mama Nature isn't always successful. Have a look. This was captured by an enthusiast who had strategically placed two trail cams in different locations, hoping to capture the secrets of the woods. When he finally retrieved his devices, their contents left him astounded. The first trail cam revealed a sight that has intrigued and bewildered him since its discovery. He'd heard of rumors over the years of a Bigfoot roaming the area. Being the scientific and logically minded type, he ignored them completely and saw them to be nothing but old wives' tales. Yet here he is with an image from his trail cam which appears to be a capture of the supposed Bigfoot in mid-step, surrounded by the serene beauty of the forest. It's definitely not an ape or any other primate from the woods. They don't even have apes in this neighborhood. He concluded it had to be the real deal, a Bigfoot. And we agree with his assertion, don't you? As much as I'd love to state that that was the only Bigfoot capture from his camera, there's apparently more. It seems the mysteries of the forest were far from over for this trail cam owner, as the second picture from his second device raised even more questions. Taken a few hours into the day, the image shows what appears to look like the same Bigfoot spotted earlier, or perhaps another of its kind further into the depths of the woods. Here the trees have shed their leaves and the landscape has transformed. The question lingers, is this the same elusive creature the Trailcam owner tracked, or are there multiple Bigfoots inhabiting this area? These elusive creatures have been the subject of legends and sightings, and the frequency of such encounters is both remarkable and puzzling. This footage, shared by YouTube user Sean Baker, presents a rather perplexing situation that might make you scratch your head. What you're looking at here is a massive reddish-white mass that was once a small innocent mushroom growing in Sean's backyard. Initially, he didn't pay much attention to it, thinking it was just an ordinary mushroom. But surprise, surprise, one day Sean discovered that this one small mushroom had transformed into a gigantic rock-like structure firmly embedded in his backyard. He tried everything he could to remove it, from digging to using a club, but this mysterious object wouldn't budge. The big question here is, what could have caused this transformation? Could it be some sort of abnormality mutating the mushroom into this monstrous form? Either way, let's hope it doesn't release spores that end up turning him into a zombie. Before you laugh, look up the zombie ant fungus. Trust me when I say you won't be laughing after you've researched about it. Have you ever caught an uninvited guest trying to break into your home using the door camera? If you answered yes, did they look like this? Definitely not. The figure in question appears to possess human-like shoulders and arms, which are initially unremarkable. However, a closer examination reveals a striking peculiarity. Its hand, unlike a typical human hand, appears to be twisted and deformed, almost resembling the appendage of a person with a disability. As this mysterious entity continues to navigate through a doorway, its actions become even more confounding. Although the head remains concealed from view for the most part, as it gradually comes into frame, something truly extraordinary emerges. This figure seems to sport a long, elongated snout reminiscent of that of a horse or a dog. The sight is undeniably bizarre and leaves us grappling with a host of questions. What could this entity be? And how can we make sense of its curious combination of human and animal-like features? Is this a mere trick of the camera or something more inexplicable? That we may never find out, but what do you think? The recent surge in cryptid sightings has certainly left us questioning the ordinary in many Trailcam captures. In this particular image, the setting is a woodland area, and our attention is drawn to a peculiar creature perched by a fallen tree, partially concealed by another standing tree. Upon closer inspection, it becomes evident that this creature exhibits primate-like features. Given its size, it's unlikely to be a gorilla, leaving us to consider it might be a chimp or a monkey. As much as we'd want to end things there, it appears to be moving on 2 feet and not 4. Whilst we debated this observation, we saw from the comments under the original post that there are no apes or chimps in the area. That left us with one guess. It has to be a juvenile Bigfoot. It's too small to be a Bigfoot, even though everything points to it being a Bigfoot. Being a juvenile Bigfoot is the only thing that makes sense in this scenario. Or what do you think? And for our final video, we thought we'd go out with a big bang. In this recently captured footage, we witness a man rhythmically beating an empty bucket with a stick and tapping the murky water, which at first glance seems like an unusual activity. However, the reason behind this peculiar behavior becomes clear in the next few seconds. A crocodile soon emerges after the disturbance. The beast has been lured out of the water by the noise created by the man. Upon noticing the creature's emergence, the man quickly positions the bucket in front of him as the crocodile attempts to lunge for his leg. You might be wondering why the man is provoking the creature. In reality, he has summoned the crocodile not to provoke it, but to feed it. Nonetheless, this job is undeniably dangerous, with the slightest mistake potentially resulting in becoming crocodile food. And that's it for today's episode. Thank you for watching to the very end. If you have any trail cam footage you'd like the rest of the world to see, please send it over to us at classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Don't be shy, and don't think it's crazy. We'll help you make sense of even the most bizarre of captures. What's more, we'll give you the credit, unless you want to remain anonymous. What are you waiting for? Send it in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out a ton. See you in the next one.